This is Gabriela on the scene today with Talk Network Radio. We have a real treat for you just around the corner, and that is Empowered Living with Jeff Byrd. Jeff is the owner of Jeffrey Byrd Coaching, and he will be coming to you weekly to teach you more about empowered living. Now, let's join Jeff, already in the studio.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jeff Byrd with Jeffrey Byrd Coaching, and this is Empowered Living. I'm so glad that you joined me today because we've got a very important topic that I'm going to discuss with you today, and it's called It's Time to Grow Up. And what I mean by that, obviously, I don't mean physical stature. Most of us have gotten to the height we're going to get to, and even though we wish it might be more, it's probably going to be what it is. But what I mean by that is that it's time for us to grow ourselves and develop ourselves in a manner that takes us higher. It's time to grow ourselves upward. And you'll readily see this need if you just take a minute to look around you, because there's so many people and they've got stories to tell you. And I tell you, things are just bad. They just can't catch a break. So-and-so just did them wrong. The boss is no good. The neighbors are no good. Whatever it happens to be. And everything around him, it reminds me of the guy that said, I wouldn't have any problems at all if it weren't for everybody else. And the one thing he didn't notice is that, wow, maybe he was the biggest problem. Well, maybe we found the enemy and he's us. And so many people, it's so easy to get stuck, to just feel stuck, to be stuck. And it doesn't matter. It's been said, it doesn't matter what level you're stuck at. Stuck stinks. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or a hundredaire. If you're stuck and you're no longer growing, stuck stinks. And we need to find a way to get ourselves unstuck and to develop ourselves and to grow up. And here's what we've seen. There's been so many beautiful examples in the world of people who were stuck, who were at a very poor level, and they decided to develop themselves, and they became something that everybody else just envied, looked on with amazement and sometimes with envy, going, wow, how did they get to that level? Maybe they were just lucky. No, they weren't lucky. As has been said, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. They had prepared themselves. They had grown themselves. And then suddenly the opportunity came and they were ready to take it. And the opportunity that they were ready for took them to a new level. When I think about this idea of growing up, I think of Jim Rohn. If you don't know him, he's been gone from us for a number of years now. He passed away a number of years ago, but he was one of the greatest personal development coaches and trainers that the world's ever known. And you can look him up. There are many of his videos on YouTube, and he just has such an easy way about him. I love listening to him and learning from him. But he said that before he became successful and really started his personal growth journey, which led to helping others with theirs, he was working. He was at a dead-end job. He was stuck. He had pennies in his pocket, nothing in the bank, as he called it, and he was just complaining. And this one conversation, he was complaining about his job to someone else, and they said, "Oh, this job, that's just all they pay me every week. It's the same old check, and I just can't get anywhere on this amount of money. That's just all they pay." And the friend called him up short, and they said, "No, that's not true. That's not all they pay. That's all they pay you. There's a lot of people in the company making more than you are, but that's all they're going to pay you until you develop yourself and become more valuable, add value to yourself so that you then have more value to add to others, and it makes you worth more." So this is a topic that we're going to be taking on, and I've got some interviews coming up, and I've got some other teachings I'm going to do on personal development, because I've just come to understand from my own life experience, whenever I felt stuck, whenever I was just depressed or kind of down about things, I always have come back to this fact: there's only one direction I can go, and that's up, and there's only one person that's going to get me there. Now, it's true, others can help, God helps, gets us going, but then ultimately there's something we have to do. Once we're inspired and once we're on the right path, and I'd like to ask, what is my next appropriate step? What's my next appropriate step in development and getting better? And there's a couple of categories I would like to give you that next appropriate step for you may lie along. And the first one is our thinking. It all starts right here for both of us. And there's an ancient proverb that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You are never going to be at a level beyond how you think. And you know this to be true. You see people and they think like victims. And they think, I can't get better. Others must do for me. I can't get to that level. I can't learn that. I can't do that. I can't become that. And there's an old quote that says that whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Those who think they can't don't. Those who believe they can and think they can, they do. So we got to first call our thinking up to question and say, are we thinking like a victim that thinks I can't get better? I just need other people to do for me. It's just, all of those lucky people that caught a break out there. Just wish I was like one of them. Poor me. Woe is me. Hope the government will help me. Hope somebody else will help me. Just looking for a handout. Or are we going to think like a successful person and the thought of the successful person says, hey, I can grow and I can improve my condition. If I grow, if I get better thinking, if I get better skills, if I get a better group that I hang out with, I can improve my condition. That's what led John Maxwell to say that the only guarantee of a better tomorrow is to grow today. Now, sure, you could get lucky and win the lottery tomorrow, but that's not guaranteed. The only guarantee of a better tomorrow is to grow today. So that makes daily growth of first importance. What are we going to do? What system do you have? What system do we have to grow on a daily basis? We have to ask ourselves, what are we thinking about? Is it positive and forward moving, upward moving, or is it negative, stuck thinking? And it pays to listen to what your friends and you yourself are saying, to take those thoughts, to take the meaning and the messages of those thoughts and to call them to account, bring them out and look at them in a bright light, under a magnifying glass, and go, okay, how are they thinking? Is this helping me? Is this helping me grow and get better? Or is this hindering me and keeping me? Is this stuck thinking or growth thinking? And we have to ask ourselves, what are we putting into our minds on a daily basis? Are we putting successful thoughts from successful people? Are we putting growth thoughts into our mind on a daily basis? And then we have to ask, what are we reading and listening to? There's so much out there that has such negative messages that'll never help us grow. And there's so much out there that has such good messages and good thinking that will help us grow. And we have the choice. We can, as a friend of mine used to tell their children when they were raising them, he would say, choose. Learn to make the choice. Learn to choose the right thing. Learn to choose to put the good stuff in and get the garbage out. So that's on our thinking. That's number one. Now, the second area that I want to ask you to think about with me today is a little tougher, even though that was tough. This is even tougher probably, and that is your friends. What circle do you run with? Who are your closest friends? It's been said that we will have the average success rate of our 5 closest friends. Now think about that. That is a sobering thought. I shared that in a group yesterday, and the lady right in the front row went, wow. It's a sobering thought to think about that. Is the success level that you really want the average success of your 5 closest friends? And I'm not talking about just the money you make. I'm talking about success in life. I'm talking about fulfillment. I'm talking about making a difference. I'm talking about living out your purpose. So we have to ask the question, what type of people are we spending our time with? And we have to ask this, who do I need to add? Who do I need to minimize? And who do I possibly need to eliminate? Because if they're not adding value, if they're not willing to go forward with you and they're just keeping you from going forward, you don't need that. And one of the hardest things to realize, I've experienced this, other leaders, John Maxwell has said the same thing. One of the hardest things to realize is that people that you care for will not take the growth journey with you. They're just not going to go up. It's just too much. Maybe they don't believe in themselves. Maybe they got poor self-image. They just, for whatever reason, and often we don't know those reasons. But the difference between those who do and those who don't is that those who do. And if you've got a bunch of friends who aren't willing to do and to move with you, then you got to look at it. Now, sometimes there's good things and some bad things, and then you can adjust the amount of time that you spend around them, or minimize that and keep it on the good level. Now, one really good thing to do is when you're stepping along on your growth journey and you don't know if your friends are going to go with you or not, what you can do is find something good to do, growth oriented, and invite them along. Invite them along. And then if they won't come along, then it's not you going, oh, I don't want to spend time with you anymore. It's like, well, this is my path. This is where I know I need to go. I wish you'd come with me. I'd love for you to come with me. And then if they don't do it, you're kind of off the hook. You don't have to call them out. You can just say, well, this is really important to me. And I know I need to do this for my own development. And then you're on your path and you wish them all the best. And then if they ever decide to come along with you, you haven't shut a door. If they later on reevaluate, decide they want to take the journey with you, you haven't closed a door in their face, and you're willing and ready to invite them along and to pick up where you left off. So there's a few things on this growth environment, because your friends form your environment, and there's a growth environment, and here's some characteristics that I got. John Maxwell wrote these out when he was a young man, and they're good. They're just so good. I want to share them with you today of what a growth environment looks like. Number one, others are ahead of you. Now, that was a struggle for me. I used to think I had to know everything about everything, and boy, I probably just drove everybody crazy, myself included, because that's hard. You can't know everything about everything. And we always want people who are ahead of us on our growth journey, so that we can learn from them. You know, if it's been said, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Let's get in rooms where other people are ahead of us on the things that are important to us so we can learn from them. Number two, you are continually challenged. Now, this isn't in a bad way. It just means, wow, you're stretching. You're taking on something that's important, that's in your area of strength, and you're stretching. You're not quite sure you can do it, but you're going to go for it, and you're going to learn along the way. And even if you fall, you're going to get back up and learn and keep going. You're continually challenged. Number three, your focus is forward. They say there's a reason that a windshield on a car is larger than the rear view mirror. It's because we're meant to be looking out of the windshield at where we're going, not what's behind us. If you're around a bunch of people and they're always looking behind, you need to evaluate that and find people who are forward focused so your environment can become forward focused. Number four, the atmosphere is affirming. You're around other people who believe that you can. And in your own mind, you're creating that atmosphere in your own mind of believing that you can, affirming the truth, affirming that you can do this, affirming that, that life is good, that God's on your side, that other people are, the people that you're spending your time around, they're affirming of you. They believe in you. They're eager to see you succeed. If other people are intimidated by your success, or they don't want to see you succeed, maybe because it makes them look bad, you don't need that. You don't need that. You're going to have to set some boundaries. Number five, you are often out of your comfort zone. Growth and comfort are antithetical. You will not grow if you only stay comfort. Now, I'm not against comfort. I'm not against relaxing and spending time with friends and family. But when it comes to growth, you're never going to grow if you just got it. If you're sticking to your strengths and sticking to what you already know how to do, if you always do only what you already do and know how to do, you're never going to grow. You're going to have to stretch. A rubber band, one of the laws that I teach is called the law of the rubber band. And a rubber band is only useful for anything when it's being stretched. And it's the same with us. Number six, you wake up excited. You're eager to wow, the things we're going to do today, the things I'm going to learn, the people I'm going to meet, the value I'm going to add, the difference I'm going to make. You wake up excited. If people wake up and it takes them 3 cups of coffee just to get going, that's not a good environment. Now, I'm not against coffee. Trust me, I love my coffee. But we should wake up excited at what the day holds and the new opportunities that are there and how we're going to develop and move forward. And the people that we're going to move forward with, we need to be excited about that as well. Number 7, failure is not your enemy. In a growth environment, it is safe and it's okay to fail. Because if you're not making any new mistakes, you're not growing. If we try to grow, if we get out of that comfort zone, if we do new things, we are going to make mistakes. Now, if you're making the